Welcome to Captain TV. Today we are on the polity. We are going to be talking about the PIA and how it affects our lives. And what is the interesting thing about the PIA? The PIA and the executive bill. The executive bill, our topic shall be dwelling on the executive bill. Is it a setback, or it is to drive more transparency in the system? My name is Osaretin Osadebamwen, and with me, I have a guest in the person of Prince Collins Eselemo, who is very, very passionate about the development of Nigeria. But before we start the conversation this afternoon here on the polity, I want to give us a little background. The opaqueness, as it were, which seem to have dotted the operations of the Nigerian oil company, that is the NNPC, which has matured, which has transformed to the NNPCL, is one that several governments have had issues to query about. And in the drive for accountability, there was a move for a PIA, PIB, the Petroleum Industry Bill, which traveled from the, I think, 6th Assembly right down to the 9th Assembly before it got passed under the General Buhari administration. And it began its journey, as it were, under the Yaradua administration. But the initiation and all that was done during the Obasanjo administration. And so when it got to the Buhari administration, it was further broken into 4 components, and then the PIA got passed. Now, after passing the PIA, the president, people were expected that, with the promises in the PIA, there were some sort of a sense of relief, even though there was still agitation that the 3% that has been allocated as the operation expenses from the operation expenses, 3% are supposed to have been given to a trust in the host community, and they have been advocating that money should be increased. But while that is on the eve of Valentine this year, the president signed the Executive Order 9, for which he said he wants to get clarity on the revenue that is accruing from all oil assets of the nation. And so the money is being pooled. All the monies are now going to be paid straight into the Federation account. How does this conflict with the PIA? Where the PIA says that 30% of the money should be used for frontier exploration, another 30% should be by the management of the NNPC, and then we talked about the provision in Chapter 3. We talked about benefit for the host community, being 3% accruing from the operation expenses of the oil companies. Now, with this executive order directing that all resources be paid straight into the Federation account, transparency is one issue that has always been the challenge in this sector. Why the communities wallow, as it were, in poverty and environmental degradation, huge amounts of money are repeatedly paid into the Federation account, and the people do not get. So to help us have a sense of this conversation today is no other person but Prince Collins Eselemo. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Now, so let's start the conversation. Executive order by the president jettisoning the provisions that were already in the PIA, which is a law of the National Assembly. Now, do you think that having such a law, having such an order when the PIA is there to govern the industry, has any kind of implication on the industry, investors' confidence, and the host communities who are believed to be beneficiaries of the PIA?
Well, to me, you have been judgmental because you've sided with the complainants. You said jettison. The president has never done that, and he will not do that. He is the executive president of this country, and he has signed an executive order. The constitution of this country permits him to do. And the Constitution also had lives to it. So for every action, democratic action that takes place amongst the three arms of government, there must be a common denominator. And what is this denominator? A denominator that will derive a phenomenon that reconciles government's efficiency and its legitimacy. Those are the four fundamentals of democracy. So everything that is put on the democratic board must adhere to these four principles, the four pillars of democracy. A phenomenon to reconcile government's efficiency and its legitimacy and our freedom and the authority that we have given to them through our ballot boxes and our freedom. So where do you domicile this between these four pillars that I've just defined, these four fundamentals? Where do you locate the executive order? Where do you locate the 30%, what is it called?
30% front trust investment.
Front trust investment. Where do you locate them? Now, if we have to litigate or mitigate on this issue, where the National Assembly is in conflict with the executive at the expense of Nigeria, where do we go to? We go to court for proper interpretation. It started from the inception of this government. Offshore, onshore dichotomy. Bola Ige, the then Attorney General of this country, took this matter to court, for litigation and to verify and to validate the resolve of the court. That is where we are. All borders on resource control and all for oil. The complainants are the direct touched people who are Pengassin. Let us go back before we fast forward. In the course of discussion with me, you said the government, for want of prudence, shouldn't have taken that action because all their administration is opaque to the detriment of Nigerians. Let me start with the turnaround maintenance of our refineries. The last time I checked, we spent $3.5 billion. And before the $3.5 billion, it was $1.5 billion when I protested, when I had a counter-protest against the Shomole. That this oil fuel price increase is caused by the Pengassins themselves. It's caused by Nopeng. It's caused by the players in the oil industry. I was thrown this question, how?
And that is what I'll ask you. How?
Then I said, what went wrong with the 1.5 billion turnaround maintenance? What has gone wrong? We're supposed to be responsible. The level of accountability. Because you're not talking about prudence. And what result has it given to the Nigerian people? The result was dead on arrival. The refineries are caricatures of themselves. And we are putting $1.5 billion
at the time.
And Pengassin no Peng. You are making all the noise that you can make. When you make 10 naira per every liter of oil, and you members of Pengassin, you have your own filling stations, localized filling stations everywhere. You export, you don't even give a proper account of the oil that left the shores of this country and the one that is being used, even with the $1.5 billion. And where did you derive your moral judgment to question the executive not to increase fuel price or to increase fuel price? Where is your moral authority? That was the last straw that kept Oshomole out of track. It's a superior argument. Axiomatic evidence, avalanche of them, were advanced by me. I was prolific, pragmatic, and above all, civilized in my approach. Nobody made a rejoinder because the facts were there. Now the man has appropriated these 30% orchestrated political mentees that goes to the pockets of few. It has been ambiguous. He said, okay, XYZ, bring it here first. The account that he has appropriated this money to is not his personal account, it's the federated account. Nigerians are overseeing that account through the central bank. So the money is not taken off the shores of this country. It's still in the country. So why are they complaining?
No, the fear is the issue of the investors.
No, the
We
fear.
believe that the 30%, can we just have that slide back on the screen so we could just see? The 30%, Frontier Exploration Fund, PI provision says 30% of NNPC profit oil fund should be sent in there. But the executive order says no, stop that, and just pay straight into the federation account. So the possibility of investment.
The money will have been paid to who?
No, the money would have been held by the NNPC and then be used on behalf of Nigeria, of the country, to get itself involved in frontier exploration issues. So that fund would have been kept, of course, within the government account, of course, by the NNPC.
Members of the managerial organism of NNPC,
yes,
are they Ghanaians?
they are Nigerians.
If they are Nigerians, why are you asking this question? Is the president not a Nigerian?
He is a Nigerian. No, but the concern is that
you say the fear.
The bureaucracy that is associated with
that action has allayed us of the fear. The fear didn't start now. The fear started from the inception of this 30%. What do you call it?
Frontier funds.
Frontier funds. We have been exercising that fear because we don't know where the money is going. They will just come. We use the $1 billion. 1 trillion naira for oil exploration in Lake Chad. Not accountable for. They will come back again in Borno. We discovered that there was oil well. After everything, no oil. We spent $200 million. Are you talking to fools?
Not at all. Okay, so let's have this slide.
You take money from oil from a geographical expression, 30% of it that you have not accounted for, that has run into trillions of naira, and say you are exploring oil that has not brought a liter of crude oil. That is where our fear is domiciled.
Oh, that is the real fear.
That is the real fear.
That should be the real fear.
That is the real fear, and we have been allayed of that fear by the president.
The action of the president.
Yes.
Taking executive order 9. So whatever fear that is entertained
that time is been taken care of now by the executive order.
What about the host communities?
That is what I'm telling you. The host community also have that fear now. What goes for oil exploration is about 10 times what goes to the host community. And you have the proceeds of this oil from the host community. As a result of exploration, they were even dead before they were born. 30% of that proceeds, that is 10 times of what is supposed to go to the host community. You are spending it without taking responsibility, and you win from the host community. We should not be afraid. That is the fear. And those are the complaints that have been coming on and on. And the president deemed it fit to appropriate this same money. Host community, NMPC, wait, okay, let us take this money.
Everything.
Down to a federated account.
Even the...
If you are a Nigerian, you have a stake in that federated account. It's like the president, you know, signed an executive order and made sure that it was complied with the local government autonomy. That is restructuring. 3 tiers of government. The president will not want to go around the whole, you know, constitutional conference. We need restructuring. No. Restructuring is a function of evenly distributed economy. That is restructuring now. I will tell you 75% of the restructuring tendencies that we have been looking for have been taken care of by this executive order as people from the host community.
Interesting.
We are so happy about it. We've been complaining about restructuring through federalism. Is that not so? The man is saying, okay, 3 tiers of government, you governors, take your own. I'm sending this money directly to the local government. Ibori and Alame say I blocked it before. Governors were taking the local government funds to buy some private jets, buy houses everywhere. Now the money goes directly to the local government. You know what that means? He chested it and made sure that the money goes to the local government. Look, my local government now gets about over $1 billion a month. After they pay salaries, nothing. It's trapped at the state headquarters. That is restructuring. This 30% and 36%, what an insult. 3% to host community. You've taken our oil, you want to take our blood? And the man is saying for proper appropriation of funds, let us know the amount.
First,
and for us to know the amount is to be in an account that we all know of. The least local government citizen in this country knows how much comes to their local government chairman. And their local government chairman is accountable to them. They won't cry to the governor anymore. Local government chairmen are now building roads, they are now building secretariats and all that. They are building hospitals and all that. But before, you need to go cap in hand to the state, they call it jack, to share money. After from the national, you go to the state again and you share. That is laziness in itself. That is the height of insensitivity. So those people who were responsible for this 30%, to me, they are overwhelmed by their limitations as an overgrown children of political circumstance. And this is intentional to undermine the integrity and the welfare of the Niger Delta people. I can tell you this government is pro-Niger Delta. And we are happy about it. We are very happy about it.
Should the government
so let the National Assembly take the Attorney General to court and call for a proper interpretation of what the president has done.
Or the Pengasin that is complaining about it should take...
Let the Pengasin, they are seriously under probe. We are talking, since the inception of that bill, we are talking about money that has gone into trillions of naira. For one stupid Pengasin, sorry to use that word, for want of use of words. You see, all these are political mentalcies that has been orchestrated by those people who feel that our own oil, our God-given wealth, our common wealth can be mishandled by them. The president has called the shot. Yes, it was a good bill, but we can't see it in them. Yes, it was good, but the people are still in monumental poverty, if I have to use that word. Unbearable. I went to my village. As I see everybody, they wear the same resemblance. What that means is that they eat the same time, go to bath the same time. Hunger. So what has these 3 million, what are these 3% done to we from the creeks? You're in Abuja here, Abuja is Abuja because of the process of crude oil, like it or not. If the Speaker of the House used his salary, allowances, to buy his innerwear, his pants, his boxer, that is the oil money. His wristwatch is the oil money. We'll give you the oil and you want to take our blood? No. It is the restructuring, as far as I'm concerned, the president is doing. Damn anything that comes from it. I've just defined democracy.
And so you do not think in any way that such decision will impact on investors who possibly will begin to say, oh, we're going back to the old order.
Oh, there you come again. Don't just waste your energy. The amount of crude oil that leaves the shores of Nigeria is 10 times the one they declare.
How can we say
I am privileged. I'm the grand patron of the Joy Youth Council. In no distance time, I'll be 70 years. I was born there. I drafted the Kayama Declaration and I paid the price for that declaration. I was detained. My freedom was taken from me for 11 months and 9 days. I came out with my beard, like Osama bin Laden. What I said was that, look, what we are fighting for, we are no militants, but we only have the calling of the fundamental commitments of our heroes past. The likes of Isaac Adakaboro, Ken Saro-Wiwa, name them. That is our goal. So you don't bring, the Nigerian constitution is biased.
how?
It's biased. It's not a product of the people.
That argument has been on for a long time.
It's not on. It's a non-argument. It's a non-fact. A fact can be disproved to make the ordinary man who is limited believe that it's not biased.
What I'm trying to say is that this position has been held by very many persons. But unfortunately, each time we go for constitutional review, you just do not have it becoming saleable.
What is prompting the constitutional review if the constitution is of the people? The real constitution that was for the people was sacked to the barrel of guns by late Buhari of blessed memory. That was a constitution that was well drafted, well inclusive, pragmatic, prolific, whichever way you want to call it, championed by the late Rotimi Williams. Market women, they have their input. Bricklayers, electricians, religious bodies, they all had their input before Rotimi came out with the 1979 Constitution. Fantastic. Axiomatically quintessential. Shagari took advantage of it. And we're being governed by that Constitution. All of a sudden, somebody just comes somewhere with the barrel of the gun, set that Constitution of the people aside, and came up with a degree. And it is that degree that we have been turning around with till date as we speak.
We'll go through your 1999 Constitution.
So it is biased. The mistake we have done was to have decided that we need to adopt the presidential system of government like it's been practiced in America. But we refuse to take that constitution wholesale. Why? The one that drives that of America is not the constitution that drives that of Nigeria. It's padded with religious intents, Sharia law. What are you doing with all that? So that of America is true federalism. And the president now is calling from state police. True federalism. Take care of your security. Take care of your health. But send this to the center. Once that is done, we are going. We don't need to sit and discuss the Constitution. We don't need to sit and discuss it. Let us assume this executive order was discussed. Please, let this 30% everything go be appropriated to a federated account. It will take us another 8 years. It has gone, it has gone. It's like the military regime. It has gone, it has gone. And that is the restructuring.
You're very comfortable with the executive order.
I am so, is it because it was passed through an executive order? It has been our complaint. What has it been executed? The Petroleum Industrial Act.
Well, let's look at this.
What's there?
The summary of the claimed conflict now.
Yeah.
The PI provision is that the Frontier Exploration Fund is 30% of NNPC profit. Oil must fund frontier basin exploration. Now, the purpose is that what the law says that 30% of NNPC profit must fund frontier basin operation. Now, it also works on the second point, but
please define frontier based operation.
The executive order is now saying stop all this allocation because we need to explore new grounds.
I have just told you about something. Trillions of naira has gone into even the Chad basin to look for oil. NNPC has never declared profit.
So, but
you and I know. So, of what benefit is that?
The benefit, in my thinking, is that the benefit is that when you have sign of oil in any place, the best is to exploit. And when the NNPC has that liberty and has that money available to her, then it can easily go on such because that's an economic decision that is required. It can easily go on such move.
That is deceitful. Why base all your exploration on oil when you already have gold in Zamfara? According to Mustafa.
So why not go and
why not go and mine gold? Why must you live where it is deposited and go and mine it at go and look for it at Lake Chad? You see, this is an insult. You know, you people are not taking it that way. It's an affront against our collective aspiration as Niger Deltans. Eziboro saw this and he struck. What did the state do? It was condemned to death. But for the civil war that arose, Eziboro would have been killed. Somebody came up again and make all the noise he could make. Ken Saruwiwa. The state killed him. Now, we made that Kayama declaration in consonance with the Isaac Adeboro declaration. What is the declaration? Please, we want to own.
What is coming from us?
We want to own it.
Because it's coming from us.
We want to own it and we want to be self-determined so that we can clean up our environment ourselves. Then send you what is the proceeds in compliance with with true federalism to the center. That is all we ask for. And that is what is being done in Zamfara. Are we blind? You are talking about issues that does not border on mankind. What is being done in Zamfara is true federalism. Somebody from the Niger Delta cannot challenge that position because it is what we want. You've taken our oil, you want to take our blood? Like the National Assembly was talking about Tompol pipeline. We have passed that stage. We are looking at the bigger picture, man. Pipeline. In the first place, was there supposed to be a pipeline? Why didn't they put a blast funnel from Zamfara to Niger Delta? So that as they are refining the gold, it comes to Niger Delta for outward exploitation. Any seaport in Kaduna? In the first place, was there supposed to be a pipeline? Somebody would just come when there was granite, when there was cocoa, when there was coal. That was what was used to take care of the economy of this country. A big lie. The combined economic effect of the Niger Delta basin development, rubber, timber, and palm oil, represented 75% of the GDP of Western region. When Awolowo was the premier, cocoa represented just 25%. They will de-emphasize that. Then you go to the east, the same thing. That will be de-emphasized, then we project coal. So if you look at the railway structure from the inception of this country in railway transport, it came from the north and goes to the east and west. It didn't come to the south. Tertiary institutions, Ahmadu Bello University, University of Nigeria Nsukka, and University of Ife. None came to the south. Banks, African Continental Bank of the East, National Bank of the West, Bank of the North for the North. None came to the south.
Was it, can you totally blame the government of the day, or that the people
It was inherited from our colonial masters, and they know that the people from the Niger Delta, they are resources infested, and they are more educated than any other tribe in this country. You would think I'm telling you lies. Let me just tell you something that will shock you now. I know we are looking at the bigger picture now. You are getting away from this executive order because of all that I've put in together. The Niger Delta people are the true custodians of all pioneering academic discipline, and even in the professionalism to administer a country such as Nigeria. The first literature professor of this country is Hani Joman. He's a Niger Delta man, Professor Clark. The first journalist of this country and the first publisher of this country, Ikoli Ernest, is a Niger Delta man and is Hani Joman. The first medical doctor of this country, Omonuwa, who is a physician to the Queen of England and was honored by the Queen of England in 1956, Omonuwa, is a Niger Delta man, is Hani Joman. We will take our place, the first NFA chairman of this country, Amakri, Chief Amakri, is Hani Joman and is from Niger Delta. The first Republican fathers that were taken out of the domain for the British government to take seizure of the economy of this country are the royal fathers from the Niger Delta. Am I talking about Oba Verame? Am I talking about King Jaja of Opobo? Am I talking about Koko, who committed suicide as an Ijoma? These are the frontiers. And it was Niger Delta. And the royal fathers, our colonial masters, they knew this. So what they did was to divide this country, take the authority from Niger Delta, give it to the Yoruba, give it to the Igbos, and give it to the Hausas, in accordance with the same geographical expression that I've just said. So the inhabitants of the south were appropriated to the west and to the east. Okpara made a very big mistake, and he thought he was doing that for the Igbos. So the industrial layout of Port Harcourt, of the eastern region, where you have all the industries, they are domiciled in Port Harcourt. So when you go to Port Harcourt, this is a Transamadi industrial layout. That was the idea of Okpara. Now it has been located, limited to River State. Awolowo deliberately didn't give us a tertiary institution. He deliberately did not develop the Delta Edo in terms of education and infrastructure. He stopped at Ondo, back to Ibadan. So you now have Cocoa House in Ibadan. You have Western House in Lagos. The most expensive edifice in Broad Street. It is supposed to be our commonwealth. We were in that marriage for 30 years and we left that marriage naked as then Midwestern region. I can go on and on. The first this, the first that. We are pioneers. And we want to take our place. How do we take it? You call that place Edet House, Police Force Headquarters. We want to call NFA Glass House and Macri House. You call Minister of, what is it called? Health. You say Nigerian Minister of Health. We want to call it Omonuwa House. You call Cultural Center, Nigerian Minister of blah, blah, blah. We want to call it Pepe Clark's house. All these are illustrious sounds that distinguish themselves before independence. We call it, like I told you, tutored, mentored Awolowo. He taught Awo, the great Trojan per excellence of the Yoruba race. He taught Awolowo the ethics of journalism. He was the grand stepfather to this Fani Kayode. Fani Kayode's father was like a son to Okoli. Awolowo supported Okoli when he was contesting for Lagos City Council as an Ijoma, the first senior prefect of King's College, and the first black lecturer of King's College. These are men from Niger Delta. I haven't said this. You will see this as an insult for somebody to say that 30% should go for oil exploration. That will never give result. If it will not give result and Tinubu will not appropriate it, let it be in an heritage trust fund, in an account that will be yielding interest on behalf of the 30% people pengasing our community. When the time comes, we'll know how to appropriate that funds to better the lives of us. So you can see that I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking out of the box. The Constitution does not provide anything for the Nigerian common man. And that is the struggle.
Well, the Constitution does talk about the welfare of the people and the need for the government to be that responsible.
What is welfare?
I think it is...
For the need for the government to be responsible.
I think it's the need for the people to rise, like you are just demanding accountability now. I
dare Oshomole and his group that I want to take them on a public debate on the $1.5 billion turnaround maintenance. You call it turnaround at the expense of Niger Delta people? Turnaround. 1.5 billion, turnaround.
It tended, of course, to turn...
It is not only despotic, it's absurd and it's excruciating. I've been on it, I've been around. I don't discuss Constitution. It's biased. The Constitution does not even allow you to breathe. You may not know. Now that the president has said, look, take all these things to an escrow account in the federated account, you can see the outburst. NNPC house in this Abuja that was very beautiful, they decided to glass it. Too much money. Is that part of the 13%? And every day you declare loss at our expense.
And so the executive order is very much in order.
Superlatively okay. Quintessentially good. Unperturbed. We are for it. Now that the executive order has come and gone in, is there any difference in our life?
We're yet to see.
Well, there is difference in their life. They don't have any excesses anymore to spend. Dangote wrote a petition, or maybe he just said it about one of these officers in the oil industry who paid about $6 million for his children's school fees.
That's secondary school.
What is his salary? That is part of the 30%. Today you say Tom Polo is doing this, and so what? If the Emir of Kano is riding on a Rolls Royce and the Oluwafori rides on a Rolls Royce, and so what? If Femi Otedola has oil block and is into the oil industry, he has the sole monopoly of importing diesel to this country, and Matthew Tonla is into oil and gas and is a billionaire like Femi Otedola, and so what? If Michael Denuga can from the oil industry con oil transit to Glow Communication and become a billionaire in this country, and Tom Polo is a billionaire, and so what? If Dangote is the richest man in Africa, and Matthew Tonla is the richest person also in Africa as far as we are concerned, and so what? If the Sultan of Sokoto has a private jet, then our royal fathers has a yacht that is more than a private jet, and so what? If they cannot give account of what they have, we all know that it's from the oil industry. Why are you asking Tom Polo, Matthew Tonla, and a person like me to give account? And so what? So our slogan now and mantra is beyond this executive bill.
And what is that mantra?
Our mantra is, and so what?
On so what?
We need to wear this toga of impunity for once.
Impunity?
Toga of impunity, that's what I'm saying, and so what? If
Yes.
Tompolo is a thief and he takes his oil that is endowed with by God Almighty to make his life and to better his people of his community,
No, we
what?
We need to take it cool here, because if the resources is believed by virtue of law to be owned by the state, and so why are you saying that, and so what if someone is involved? Because
I've just defined in every moment.
He had come out and giving himself to the law. He had come out to accept that, well, at that time when those activities were done were wrong, and that's why he embraced the amnesty. And today he's a very useful society.
I'm not saying what he's doing is illegal.
No, okay.
But nobody has the moral judgment to question his activities. I dare anybody in this country, in other part of this country, not west and east, to tell me the moral judgment he has to question Tompolo's integrity. I dare anybody. That is the meaning of and so what? It's legitimate. I made a statement. I said for everything we are going to discuss, we must derive a phenomenon that reconciles government efficiency and its legitimacy. The authority that we have given to those people who govern us and our freedom. The efficiency and legitimacy lies on the character and disposition of Tompolo and Matthew Tonla. What is the legitimacy there? As a non-state actor, he was employed to secure the oil infrastructure of this country. Signed, sealed, delivered, and gave to him. His company registered. Taxes paid accordingly. That is the efficiency and the legitimacy.
Nobody's querying that at the moment.
They are querying it now that he's using it to buy houses, to do this. That is why I said...
What is the private estate of a man?
Of a man, so...
He can decide to
you are seeing it, this is your private estate.
Yes, it's
I've come here.
He can live as he wants to live, except if for any reason he's seen to have run afoul of the law.
That is why I said, tell me who, including the Attorney General of this country, who is the custodian of our laws, and including the citadel of justice in this country, the occupiers. I've just told you, tell me who has that moral judgment to say, Tompolo, you are a thief.
No, of course, if the state finds anyone to have breached the law.
Who is the state? Is the state not a human being?
It's a human being. It's a collection of several human beings who, by virtue of the authority which you mentioned, who by virtue of the authority of state vested on them, either by election or by office or by appointment, whichever it is. So, if for any reason they have reason to believe that someone has breached the law, such a person can be called for clarity. Why are you doing this?
That's what I'm telling you now. Who is the person to call him now? You have not told me anybody now.
If the state...
who is the state now? Are they not members of the security community?
The state has a president. The state has ministers. The state has judges, which you've just mentioned.
Yes, the state also has people who...
security agents.
Who will investigate.
Yes, for instance now, when a former governor made a comment that was believed to be very, very dangerous to society on television, and then by his admittance he made that comment, the state moved in. So the different set of persons that come in, either from the security agencies or from the arm of law, they are all of the state. So it may not be a particular person that can just come up, but when the system discovers it, if it discovers a red flag, then it moves it.
My God, you know the Attorney General of Nigeria.
Yes.
You know the IGP of Nigeria.
Yes.
You know the National Security Advisor of...
If they found reason, they would have done so.
Oh God.
And if they, you cannot...
People have been giving them reason that Tompolo is doing this, Tompolo is doing that, Tompolo is doing that.
But it's very possible that they may have on their own made their own investigations and saw that there is not credit.
Because let me tell you...
Because we have had several persons who go up to make allegations that are not founded. And so...
let me tell you, everybody in this country, be you politician, be you judge, be you this, they are for oil. A recruit or a sergeant in the army will sacrifice his yearly salary to make sure he's transferred to Niger Delta to serve, all for oil. A police officer who wants to be transferred to air the command in any of the states will leave his own state in the north, spend all his fortune to make sure he becomes the commissioner of police in Delta State, Edo State, Bayelsa State, or River State. I'm telling you the interest of members of the security community in oil.
And therefore, the action for the executive order is very apt because it now throws all the resources, brings it back to one point.
What are we discussing about resource control, restructuring? Is it not about economy? My brother. Restructuring is about economy. It's about to better the... Look, let me tell you, we've not only shared an indelible love with the North, the West, and the East, but I think we've shared an abiding faith in the possibility of trying to make this political marriage work. Why we do that? We should also know that we have the calling of the fundamental commitments of our heroes past. And to execute our own declaration that will better the lives of the people, there is no constitution that can set it aside. No constitution. All the hula baloo is because, look, this is the money that we are using to buy houses in England. This money that we are using to marry 10 wives. This man just came with an executive order. He has taken the money. That is the query. Let us see it from the true perspective. Let us not look at the constitution of this country. Okay, constitution. Constitution also empowered the president to set aside, you know, whatever act that has been passed into law through his executive order.
But many are saying it was better to have the PIA, what do you call, the PIA not repealed.
It was good to have it. It was better to have it. But they were using it for bad.
Amended in such a way that these directives
Who is amending? I've just told you the Constitution is drafted to support the lives of some segment in this country.
But when
this Constitution is drafted along barriers, geographical expression. It's based on that geographical expression our Constitution is drafted. To the extent that religion even came in. To the extent that religion came into our Constitution. That's to tell you how bad it is. I haven't known all these things. I haven't known where they are coming from and where they were supposed to go. Let us just trap them here. We don't need to spend billions of naira to discuss in constitutional conference on how this country should be restructured. We know what is supposed to happen. Trump went to a war. They were making all the noise. They brought it into the National Assembly in America. It was zero to fullest. Personal interest does not come in there. I know you expected me to come and discuss the legality behind the what is it called?
No, you're very much on track.
Look, I'm looking at the bigger picture because I've been around.
The essence is having an understanding.
I saw from your body language that there were some things you did not even know. I just revealed them to you now. You know what turnaround maintenance of $3.5 billion is? That goes to one pengasin that was misappropriated, maladministrated. You know what that means? And Nigerians are keeping quiet. And people who are directly affected are keeping quiet because they don't occupy a position of authority. That is madness. We have been, in short, we are captured. As I speak to you, the Niger Delta people are captured by the Nigerian state. If I want to go to my village now,
the Niger Delta people have they have about 5 states or 6.
We are captured.
6 states where they are.
We are captured.
Where they are. So how, with the governor, a full state assembly.
The governor also is captured. They are all captured.
What do you call it?
Let me tell you. Let me use the example of the Speaker of Delta State. Before he goes to the village, as he leaves Asaba, the Nigerian security will check him at Ozoro. Before he leaves Warri, they will check him at the waterside. He will answer. Before he goes to his village, he will have about 10 checkpoints. In between all these have infrastructure of oil facilities. They will check him. You are from where? Edo?
I'm from Edo State.
When you are in Edo State and you want to go to the riverine area, you will see army checkpoints. As if there is a war situation. We are captured. We don't have the freedom even to go to our village.
Well, is that not because of for the need to have more security within these areas that you have this security deployment around there?
Which security are we looking for? The security we are looking for, Tompolo has provided it.
No, that is for the infrastructure.
So which security are we looking for?
But if you are moving from one point to the other, of course we have.
I'm talking in the riverine area that we can't even take our vehicles to. As I am here, I can't drive to my village. As I am here, I've never experienced the national grid for 1 minute in my village.
Where is that?
Deliberate underdevelopment.
Where is that?
Where is that? It's in Bruto local government. I'm from Ndoro. I can't drive to my village.
And why can't you
drive? The Focados terminal we are talking about, you can't drive there.
Why can't you drive there?
It's because there is no road, there is no bridge, nothing.
Roads?
Yes.
Not security men blocking you?
No, roads, there's no road there. We were dead before we were born. We can't take fish. We can't farm. Oil exploration. And with that predicament, you want to take 30% to go and look for oil in Chad?
Not just Chad, it could be some other parts of the country.
Where again? The oil is there already. You have not been able to exploit that. You are even, you know, declaring 50% of what leaves the shores of this country as oil exploitation. We know that. A classmate of mine in the university was working with Shell. He designed a computer system that will integrate or calculate the quantum of oil that leaves Nigeria. They transferred him to a London branch as a punishment and to keep his mouth shut.
He remained there.
You can be in America and know the amount of oil that leaves this country. Designed by him with a Russian inclination. That's why you see Qatar. You can't mess up with Qatar with their gas.
And with that kind of innovation, the Nigerian federal government never thought they could need that person. If you have this valuable information.
Who is the Nigerian government now? I've just told you about the constitution now. I've just told you about how biased the constitution is. I'm talking about somebody, it's an Ogoni boy. We all attended UST in Port Harcourt. Ogoni. Oil everywhere in Ogoni. Design a system that will make you calculate the amount of oil that leaves the shores of this country without being there.
But right now Nigeria is.
Don't you see your POS?
Yeah.
You don't go to the bank and you're making your transfers.
Yes. Right now Nigeria is so much interested in deploying technology for transparency.
They will not do that technology there.
Do you think that it is too late to have him return home, possibly?
We have tried. I've just told you about somebody who works with Shell and was taken out of this country to keep his technology with himself in England. Does that not send a message to you?
Yeah,
so if they don't want a system whereby it can be checked by the community, by a member of the community, by somebody whose environment has oil, then who wants to bring that?
Let's come back to, because right now, what you have just said now is very much in alignment with blocking leakages, which the executive order has done. And you are very happy about the fact that the executive order is active. Yes. And so because it's active, there is blockage of leakages. Yes. And this invention, this innovation by this very brilliant Ogoni boy.
Yes.
Ogoni man, of course.
Yes,
now, right?
Yes, he's a great man.
Yeah. Now, he is something that would definitely be loved and wanted by this government, because if this initiative can be taken by the government to ensure that there is blockage, so it would mean that if such a man comes up with that innovation and say, look, this is my contribution to national development and increased revenue in the oil sector, do you think it will be rejected?
Why are we pretending?
No,
man, we shouldn't pretend. Man.
No, it's not pretending. We have seen an action by
when Tom Polo was given the job, I will send it to you. I was the first who criticized it because it was against the collective aspiration of Ijaw people via the Kayama Declaration that we should not identify with the Nigerian state till we are self-determined. That is the clause, and that is the mainstay of our declaration. And Tompolo took this job. I went to Arise, and I said, Tompolo, you just have to be careful. If you are not careful, you may cede the sovereignty of your self-esteem, and that will be the end of your reputation. Look at what is happening right now. I told Tompolo, are you there? And in that interview, it's not rocket science. You can monitor the Nigerian oil infrastructure from this studio using sensors. You can monitor it. Look, the geography is like the current warfare. You deal with Iran from America. You deal with Iran from anywhere. Kilometers. Just the structure. You just press. It goes. So if anybody touches the pipeline, it will signal the real position where it is happening. Then the next security member that has proximity to that place will be deployed. Simple. You don't need Tompolo. But deliberate. You don't need Sojamen to be the guiding what now? Through federalism. If we allow, through this executive bill, now we are allowed to see our money, we are allowed to own our oil, we are allowed to exploit ourselves. Let the Collins Eselemo be the Mankadenugas. Let the Tompolo be the Femi Otedolas. Let the Chevron oil be owned by the Collins Eselemo. Once we own it, we will guide it ourselves because we know that is where we are having a deliberate.
Hold that thought. They will be coming back. Let's take a short break, and after the break, we'll come back and then we'll continue with this conversation. Welcome back to the polity. Our discussion is on Executive Order 9. And how does this impact on the host community? How does it impact on the oil industry in a whole? We have our guest, Prince Collins Eselemo, the grand patron
of the Ijaw
Youth Council. And he has, of course, been telling us what he thinks about the Executive Order 9. He believes it is very much in tandem with the aspiration of the people in the Niger Delta demanding for accountability and, in the federal government. But we'll just have some slides. Let's look at what the conflict. Now here, we are seeing the legislative journey of the PIB. The Petroleum Industry Bill started from the 6th Assembly in 2008. Then went through how where it was first introduced. That was the 6th Assembly. In the 7th Assembly, it was revised, but it did not succeed in 2015. And then it came back again to the 8th Assembly in 2015 to 2019. There, the bill was broken into into 4 components, comprising governance, the host community, the industrial activities itself. And then we now go to the 2019 where it was passed at the 9th National Assembly, and it became the Petroleum Industry Act. Now, this is the act that is believed to be sufficient enough to guide the the industry and all activities related to the oil, the industry, the host community, and everything that concerns oil sector in the Nigerian economy. However, that seemed to have been obstructed now with the Executive Act, which the president has just signed on the eve of the Valentine's Day. That was on the 13th day of February. That was when the president activated this new law. And by that executive order, we are seeing a conflict of the executive order. We are seeing the conflict between the PIA and the executive order 9. Host community funding. The PIA, 3% of oil companies, which is operating expenditure, goes to host communities. But the executive order 9 pushed to review and release funds through new directives. The host community is supposed to have what they call the trust fund, where the host community trust fund, where they should have been kept, and they managed by the community. That we believe would have been more transparent. The PIA I talked about the NNPC managing what's it called, the benefit, local benefits for the NNPC. But of course, we're here where the executive order is saying it should direct all funds to the federal control. That, of course, my guess is very comfortable with, because he believes that there was no need having 30% drop for any kind of management by the NNPC, which has been declaring losses and not making any profit, as it were, to the federal government. Transparency concerns also. The PIA says the community-led governance and oversight of the revenue of that 3% that would have been done. But the Executive Order 9 raises fears of reduced local oversight on the resources. All these are issues that we are looking through, and we have our guests in here saying this can definitely this option is definitely right as far as he is concerned, and it is beneficial to the host communities. It is beneficial to the Nigerian people, because it brings in more revenue, as it were, to the federal government, where all revenues accrued are going to come straight. Payments are made straight to the federation account. So nothing like 30% for frontier investment. There's nothing like 30% again for management fee, as it were. Everything comes to the federal government. The federal government gives whatever it considers to be operating costs for the respective, for these for the NNPC, and then even the NDM PRA. So with all of this, we are saying safety seems to be in the Executive Act. That is the opinion of my guest, that safety for national resources, for the federal government, for the state government, for the local government, is in the Executive Act. That is what you are saying right now. Yeah. So it means that we should be experiencing more benefits at the grassroots level. So what are your expectations now with this law from the government, states, federal, and local government?
My expectation?
Yes, with this order coming out, increased revenue.
You can liken it to that same process where we have distinct 3 tiers of government: federal, state, and local government. It will be appropriated along that line. Because the president has already said that he will direct the funds straight to the local government and warn the governors. That is exactly what is happening. So take the local community now as the local government. NNPC, of whatever you call them, as the state. Then the executive. Liken it, draw a parallel. That is exactly what is going to happen. At that point, we will now know what comes in. It will be declared by the central bank. We from the host community will know what we are due for. We can say, okay, still keep it there in an heritage trust fund. Let it be swelling. Let us be managing our local government allocation. Let the state government be, evenly distributing the development programs in the state. Please keep it in an heritage trust fund. Let it be yielding interest in an interest yielding account. Decisively at our discretion from the host community. We can do that. It will just be there. When you have hope, like now we are both seated here. Yeah. We have about 100 million that is unperturbed. No bottleneck. Even if you don't eat today, you can drink water throughout because you know there is hope. That is the hope that we are looking for. We don't want to be frustrated. We don't want to live at the mercy of people who use our money to do whatever they like. That is why I said, for some time we want to wear this toga of impunity that they have been using against us from time immemorial. A
temptation that...
To hell. Somebody from Kano will say, the oil in Niger Delta is our own. You see all this on pages of newspaper. That That is our oil. The British government gave us this country. Anything that is on the soil in the river of this country belongs to us. That is a toga of impunity. We need to wear it this time. And ask them, and so what? Because that was what they were asking us. Like a former governor now that is languishing in jail. The type of jail I entered some 30 years ago. They said his nose is bleeding and all that. Instead of them to direct, their God-given resources to better the lives of the common man, they wouldn't do that. And there was this former attorney general that is also there. He's calling my people to say, look, Alpha, power is transient. Use it well. Just use it well. The Constitution does not guarantee safety. The Constitution of this country doesn't guarantee welfare. The Constitution does not stop armed robbers to attack a house. Keep the Constitution aside and do what is human.
Keep the Constitution aside?
Set it aside, like Buhari set the Constitution of this country aside.
It bears consequences when you set it aside.
What are the consequences?
The consequences are the penalty spelled out in it if you do not go by the law.
What penalty can be so worse than the way we have been living as dead people before we were born? Can a penalty be more than that? Somebody whose God's commonwealth is being used to drive the economy of this country cannot vouch for a potable water. What penalty can be more than that?
I think that experience, one can not totally blame the federal government for that experience, because if you have
you talk about penalty.
Yes, because why I'm coming to that is you have a local government chairman, you have a state governor. And you just talked earlier about how the state governor will just emasculate all the resources from the local government chairman and has an issue. And what is he doing with it? For instance, now we have a governor in Abia State.
Can I tell you something?
Everybody's okay.
Don't waste your energy.
Yeah.
I make you a governor against all odds, like the Fubara thing. Are you telling me you will abandon me when you are dispensing whatever you call justice to better the lives of your people? And maybe this man that made you the governor is an alien. It's not even from the state. Will it not occur to you as a typical Nigerian that what is due that state, some percentage must come to me? I'm telling you of a system which you are adhering to the Constitution of this country. The Constitution says that vote well, vote the person that is credible, and is that not what the Constitution says?
And people go for elections.
People go for the election. Is that not the election?
And the elected person, the results are read. And the person is believed to be carrying the money of the people. And the people expect that they should provide water for them in their community.
But I've just told you the process that is parallel to our electoral system.
You give an example. You give an example of how difficult
a governor that was voted for.
How difficult it is because when you now go against all odds, trampling upon
that is
all
why I said the Constitution has been set aside from inception. I am telling you reality, for God's sake. It's no fantasy. It is the reality. As a journalist, please take it from me. I beg of you. It is the reality. And you have been seeing it.
It is difficult to accept that because I know...
You want to be the managing director of NNPC, somebody, you must go to somebody to talk to somebody. And when you become the managing director, you want to go solo at the expense of those people you are managing their resources. It has been set aside. Let us not deceive ourselves. The Constitution of this country has been set aside.
No, if it has been set aside. Now, you give an example, just I just spoke about the governor who finds himself. He's there by virtue of the law. If the law was not there, what would have been the ground on which would have been paid?
Of course, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't assume I know. Make me to understand what it is you're talking about.
How will I really put this?
Yes. Put it well.
Those who feel that they are custodian of our legislative rights, you and I know that they didn't get there.
No, they voted for various from various constituencies. Federal constituencies and senatorial districts.
But that is the Constitution. That's what the Constitution tells you. But what is happening on the ground is different from the Constitution. What is happening has set aside the Constitution of this country. You don't apply it anymore. Are you talking about the judiciary?
Yeah.
If the citadel of justice in this country is corrupt and bankrupt, what will happen to the body polity? It will be completely rotten and collapse.
But it's, the judiciary is always believed to be the last hope of the poor man, and governments and individuals have been approaching it for.
It's not the last hope of the richest man. We've always had cases coming out in two ways. Sometimes some people come out very excited. Oh, I never knew anyone. I never knew this would come out. I am a victim. I am a victim.
So you speak from the side of being a victim.
Of course.
And some other person who got justice.
Abacha's death gave me freedom. There was no quorum formed to try even Abiola. You are caught with degree 2, you are there. Arresting you is judgment.
At that time?
Yes. Once you are arrested, they pass judgment.
But now there's a law.
The law also, there is no law.
And that is why when some persons can insist that what is my arrest, what is the warrant?
What happened
what is the warrant for arrest?
What happens to the minister of, what is his name? Umahi, former governor of...
Umahi.
Umahi.
Well, there are still allegations in the public space, allegations in the... like some persons have actually said that, yeah, there may be some...
Chowara was talking about illegal IG. And what happened at last?
Well, it has served its term.
So what happened?
But the president had his prerogative to...
What happened to the 100 million that went to his son's account?
Those are details that security may be working on right now that you and I don't know. The allegations that come to the public space. Yes.
Look,
so we
like
have heard that it was an erroneous transfer.
People like me, erroneous transfer.
Yes. We heard that it's an erroneous transfer.
100 million erroneous transfer.
But you know, such mistakes can happen in the banks.
In the banks?
When people want to make transfer, when they want to make transfer. The mistake, the two customers are around.
Was it the one who said, this is a mistake, or this money is not supposed to come for me?
No, possibly in the course of tracking the money. Those who track this drew the attention of the recipient.
That money is not supposed to go to an individual now.
That is what we're talking about, the error. It may be error in figure. You know, money are sent to account. It could just be one figure.
The money was sent to by a government. There is procurement now. The money was sent to by a government.
Yes.
It must have control. Look, I beg you.
No, we're just...
Monies that left the government treasury. That is on black and white.
Yes.
And that must be paid into an account.
Yes.
Not by cash.
And possibly by transfer.
That's what I'm
possibly
saying.
An error of figure. Sorry, an error of the figure. That would have landed because you know my account can be 44568.
That must
and yours can be 44577. And the person so
if you have 100 million now in your account, what will you say? You keep quiet?
No, I will not keep quiet. If I have 100 million naira in my account, I'll go to the bank.
You blow the alarm.
And tell them, I say, look, I don't know how.
But the person, the recipient, didn't do that.
It's possible he never checked his account until he came.
I will be coming here.
We'd love to have you for more engagement.
I love your challenges. I'm too raw. Anything that comes from Shiwara and comes from me and comes from Femi Falana, a done deal. We defeat you before we start the fight. That is how we fight. We will defeat you first.
Before the fight begins?
Before the fight. It was in my President Tinubu was granted bail, an Asian bail, and well taken to prison. I said that in Arise. Anything that comes from Femi Falana, Shiwara, myself, maybe presently very dark man, see it as a deal. Done deal.
In all of these positions, you will not, if you ever feel threatened?
By?
Anybody.
My environment has been threatened before I was born.
Like you say, you're dead before you were born.
We were dead before we were born.
So the issue of...
the Daba period, they took a minority position, and that gave birth to Niger Delta Development Basin Authority. Out of sympathy. They just want to take their position right now. And there must be that provision. The president has started it, restructuring. Let us not look at the constitution. The president is restructuring.
No, why should we say we shouldn't look at the constitution? The constitution is our guide.
You want to, the constitution, if the constitution is your guide, then don't complain, go to court now and interpret it. And say, look at what they did to Donald Trump's tariff. They went to court, and people are demanding for about $1 trillion for the excesses that they paid. So let them go to court. It is then I will let you know that the constitution will abandon them.
No,
you will now know that the constitution has been set aside.
But the court is a function of the constitution.
That's what I'm telling you now.
And so when they get to the court...
The constitution also said that when there is misunderstanding between the legislative and the executive arm, the best place for interpretation is the court. Let them go to court now.
For that,
like they will tell us who lost the election, go to court. So everything is rooted from frivolities, uncertainty. So the president has made bold. The president has been in the oil industry. It's not new to it.
So he understands.
I'll tell you a story. This 33% of our statutory allocation from oil conglomerates to NDDC, it amounted to 10 billion a month, which of course is very little. The chairman House Committee on NDDC, Nicholas Mutu, cornered this 3% for 12 years. 400 million was going into his account directly.
You are making an allegation or a matter in the public space.
It's a matter that he has refunded over 500 million now. I wrote the petition.
And he has returned over
500 million now as we speak. EFCC has even filed for forfeiture. I wrote the petition. I will send you the video clip in Arise. He arrested me. I indemnify Arise. And I told Arise, and I showed them the documents. His own bank statement. Courtesy of Freedom of Information Bill. I got it. 400 million. Heritage Bank. That is axiomatic evidence. That is incontrovertible. That is the Showore, that is the Femi Falana, that is the Eselemo Collins. We don't go to fight because we want to fight.
You fight on purpose.
This is one single person from Niger Delta region. 400 times 12 times 12 million.
12 years. Okay, 400 times 12 times 12.
12 months. Make 1 year. Then times another 12. Your calculator will bust now.
Public money.
One individual and his committee members. And the committee members are alien to Niger Delta. That was my own finding. That was my own, attack.
Contribution to development.
You get my point? As we speak, the money is deposited in EFCC's account. I don't just talk because I like to talk.
We're going to call you back for more conversation.
So if an individual can do that, and the president is saying, oh, hold on, let this...
Round up in 2 minutes at time.
Let this 30% rest first. Too much talk from Dangote. Too much talk from the people of the community. Too much talk, accusation against royal father. Okay. Keep it here first. What is morally wrong with that?
What is wrong with the executive? What is wrong with the executive order 9? That is the question.
Yes.
And that is where we are landing today on this conversation.
You cannot see now that they are reverting. Excuse me, they are reverting now back to Tompolo. Because the 30% is gone. They are eyeing Tompolo's business. So what? That is our slogan now.
So, the conversation on the executive order with Prince Collins Eselemo, the grand patron of the Ijaw Youth Council, and a very a prolific commentator on public matters that concerns integrity and accountability. So we thank you very much for coming and joining us today.
Thank you. The agitation is of no moment. Dead on arrival.
This is how we call it the wrap today on the polity, as we look forward to other engagement for the day. Please stay with us on Capital TV and enjoy our contents.
I love you. Yes, Superman.